What's going on out there, YouTube family? It's the same relay here representing Team JVS, back here again for another new series, episode 1 review. This is Lovecraft country. Basic synopsis is a young African American travels across the United States in the 1950s in search of his missing father. So it surrounds a character named Atticus Freeman. Atticus, the very opening of it, I'm not going to reveal anything. This is a non-spoiler review, but you know that he's in the military and he's coming back home, and the reason why he's got to come back home is because his dad goes missing, and he needs the help of his uncle George Freeman, to go and try to find him and locate him. From that point, when they're going and taking off to try to look for him, they also encounter and get the help from a person named Letty Lewis, who's an older friend of Atticus when he was a little bit younger. And everything that happens from the opening shot of this film until the end of the shot is going to blow you away. But I'm not going to get into the science fiction parts of it just yet. I'm going to just talk around the fact of the 1950s, the era aspect of it. They really do, much like Watchmen with what Damon did with Watchmen. It was very visceral. It was very in your face. It was very unrelenting in the sense of the way that the racial dissension really was from that era standpoint, from different things that, you know, you read about it in the textbooks, you hear about it from older generations, but to actually watch it and see it. And I think one of the things I'll say about this is the first time that with every single African American that was, you know, depicted in this specific story, from just the first episode, there was never this feeling of like, oh, woe is me. It was always this vibrancy, this elegance, this like, you know, this hopefulness, this like pushing for life in the midst of adversity. And it's kind of like even the main three characters, like whether it be Atticus, whether it be Uncle George, whether it be Liddy, they all understood the circumstance around them being African Americans and in the circumstance of what's going on. And they are put through, in the very first episode alone, uncompromising situations that people could die from, that people have died from historically. And yet, you know, they still maintained who they are, and they did the best that they could to try to get through every single one of these circumstances. It was really hard to really kind of watch, because I think, again, this is also a credit to the way that they depicted this, that every single moment where you have like in the open crowd of African Americans just kind of out there, and just like there was a concert moment that happens in the early first act of the first episode where they're just out there and playing, and then Liddy goes up with her sister, and they go and start to sing, and like Atticus goes and plays with the kids out there and just turns on the water sprinklers just for everybody to just go and have fun and live life to its fullest. And it's something I hadn't seen in a very long time, of like even in the midst of oppression, like this willingness to survive, this willingness to do what's right. And even the character Atticus Freeman, he is immersed into books and literature, and yet the other side of this is all the different inadequacies or issues that come from being brought up in different terrible circumstances, from your decisions or from your parents' decisions that help shape and mold you from a negative or positive standpoint. And the character Atticus, he very much so had a very harsh upbringing surrounding his father, even though his father is what he really is trying to find. And even when you have like open lines of dialogue between Uncle George and Atticus, it's very rich dialogue. It doesn't feel flat. It feels actually pretty real. And I was kind of like, I have to commend the script writing and the dialogue for this one, even in just the very first episode. Now, I didn't talk about any of the actors because I want to make sure you guys know who these characters actually are before I go and just refront them. But Jonathan Majors, last movie I saw him in was The Five Bloods, which he did a really good job there, but he is a standout in this one. Like, his mannerisms, his eye movements, like, everything that's going on around him, you can tell, like, he has this, like, fearlessness about him, whether that is from being war-ridden or whether that's from being war-ridden from his upbringing. Like, he is fearless. Like, he really is engaging and dynamic. And you got Courtney B. Vance as the Uncle George, and he just nails it. Like, there's things about him that I can tell, like, he's got a little bit of darkness and edge to him as well, and he's definitely keeping some secrets. But it's very fascinating to watch. Now, the father, played by Michael Keith Williams, he's not shown up in the first episode yet, but he's an amazing actor, so I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with him. Then you got Jurnee Smollett. She's in this, and she's playing the role of Letty, and she is killing the role. She really is doing a really good job with her role, because her character, on face value, everybody that's interacting with her doesn't trust her. Like, her family members look at her and look down on her. They are kind of like, what are you really trying to be? What is your end goal? And it's kind of like, it's really off-putting. But at the same exact time, there's a real interesting, organic, I don't know how to put it. Like, it really does show the chemistry between Jurnee and Jonathan in their acting prowess through these two characters. Like, they have amazing chemistry together. Like, there was so much chemistry in the sense that there's a certain moment in the third act I was kind of like, yo, I feel that. Like, for real. And it's not on some romantic, it's a connection through the circumstance that's happening around them. Now, science fiction stuff, it is insane. That's all I can say. Terrifying, insane, over the top, like, and the thing is, the uncle, he's very heavy into science fiction and, like, horror and stuff like that, and, like, the way that his verbiage and they using him as a point of reference to certain circumstances that happen, especially in the second act, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. In the very first opening shot, you're gonna be like, what is this? So just get past that and just continue to watch, because I'm not saying forget what you saw. I'm not saying that, but it was, when I first watched, I was like, that's a whole lot to absorb. I was like, I'm just need to put that in a little box and container over here and just watch to see the rest of the progression of this episode go through. And I'm glad that I did, because when science fiction stuff starts to happen in the midst of racial dissension, in the midst of danger, in the midst of impending circumstances, you're just like, oh, snap, what is going on? And, like, honestly, when I was trying to do, when I first started this review, honestly, I was emotionally compromised. I still am. It's just, I'm unraveling and unpacking this as best I can without going straight for the jugular on the emotional turmoil that just left me, because I was like, I can't let my wife see this. Like, it's just way too much. It's amazing. I love it. Like, I love everything about what I saw in the first episode. I loved it. The first episode, I thought it was amazing. I'm not even gonna rate it. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was insane. But it is dark. It is gory. It is terrifying. There's a moment where one of the main characters is running through a woods. And I was like, yo, Jordan Peele, I know you have something to do with this, because this is terrifying. Like, even the way that it's actually captured, like, there's certain shots that you're just like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. And it's not even just that. Like, there's terrifying moments, yes, from a science fiction standpoint, but there's also some human being terrifying, terrible moments that you're like, what is about to really happen? And especially in the 1950s, like, you don't know. Like, these are African American people that you don't know what is going to be put in front of them, and It's insane, man. Like, that's all I can really say. Definitely go and check it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll talk to you guys later on. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Have a blessing, guys. Lovecraft Country is here to stay, it looks like. Peace, guys.